Hey, family. Another day of observing my thoughts and challenging them and trying to stay positive. Thumbing through these papers yesterday and came across this risk reduction worksheet that I had filled out. All right, and it starts off saying the changes I want to make are, and this was 12, 12 years ago. Goes hand in hand with what I'm trying to do right now. It says I want to quit smoking cigarettes. I want to spend more quality time with my family and friends. Next statement here that I had to give an answer to is the most important reasons why I want to make these changes are for my health and to obtain more of a balance between my career and social interactions. The steps I plan to take in changing are I plan to increase the amount of time between cigarettes and chewing gum / exercise more. I plan to start getting together with family and or friends every other weekend. So these are changes I've been trying to make for a long time, I guess. It just goes to show you. Keep going, keep pushing, keep trying to get better every day. Things change. The ways other people can help me are others can help me with my plan to quit smoking by criticizing me when I smoke. Yeah, sorry, Grandma, if I've been leading you to think that I am still not smoking. But I did quit there for a while. Now you kept telling me to quit, and then I quit for a while. But anyway, others can help me with my plan to spend more time with family and friends by being more flexible. I'm not quite sure what the being more flexible part was. Like I said, 12 years ago when I answered this. Some things that could interfere with my plan are, and I wrote, only I can hold me back from change. So yeah, that's in the front of this this notebook, this journal that I told you I was going to start sharing a little bit at the end of every video. So that was sitting in there. Then there's another page sitting in here. A few things scribbled on. Like I said, I've always taken notes, and I got numbers on here from something, a little note on top, a few notes on the bottom. So I'm going to read those. The top one, the numbers, I'm not sure what those were, but I wrote, I'm sorry, period. I made a mistake, period. I am changing, period. And then the word proof. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I am changing. And here's the proof. Then I got gratitude. Gratitude. Thankful. Grateful. Appreciative for the things I have and that are done for me, or the opportunities or even the difficulties in my life. I am grateful for the efforts of my grandmother to always promote family orientation. Remember in my previous videos, I was always saying that my grandma and my aunt have always tried to promote family orientation. I am grateful for having my mother still be alive. Yeah, that gratitude. You hear people say an attitude of gratitude. That's why I try to say at least 3 things or so that I'm thankful for. I said a couple earlier today. Yeah. So speaking of attitude of gratitude. Next piece of a material that I'm going to share. It's still in the same pamphlet that I was reading yesterday, or same piece of paper. The one where I gave the definition for fact and objective, but attitudes. We develop our attitudes, beliefs, and thinking patterns from the things we experience in our lives and from observing the experience of other people. Attitudes are our basic thoughts and feelings towards something or someone in our life. Attitude. An attitude is a thought, feeling, or orientation for or against a situation, person, idea, or object outside of ourselves. An attitude directs how we think, feel, and act. An attitude will cause us to line up in a certain way to something or someone outside of ourselves. We usually have feelings or emotions tied into our attitudes. Attitudes are described in terms of good or bad. Attitudes represent a readiness to respond to a given situation in a certain way, and are triggered by thoughts, feelings, or behaviors. An attitude may determine your posture or position towards something or someone. An attitude has an underlying emotional quality that gets expressed when you express your attitude. It is when we are confronted with outside situations and events that our attitudes are formed, expressed, or maintained. If that external situation or person represents a threat to us, then we will most likely have a negative attitude toward the outside situation or event. Also have some other definitions here. Definition: thinking patterns. Okay, so basically this is what this is all about: is just being more observant of our thoughts and recognizing our thoughts and how they impact our life. So thinking patterns are thoughts I think in similar kinds of situations. Thought patterns are the basis for our attitudes and beliefs. Many of these thoughts justify our actions and give us permission to behave the way we do. Thinking patterns control the way we live. Right. Well, I guess that's another one I should have shared yesterday when I said that, what did I read yesterday? What was, where's that at? Let's see if I can't find that. Anyway, definition for opinion. Oh yeah, in the goal setting. I put those away in another accordion binder as I'm going through the information. I've been keeping it all in the same order and in the same folders for the past 12 years. So as I go through it, I'm actually putting it into a separate part of an accordion binder, a plastic accordion binder. But now when we were doing goals, and it said something about not based on opinion. What was that? Hold on, let me figure that out. It's not scripted, guys. Just trying to share experiences the way that I went through. Okay, that was the Cheshire Cat that told Alice in Wonderland. Remember, told her that it didn't matter which way you go if you don't care where you go. But just bear with me, guys. I'm trying to touch on achieving goals. What did it say about opinions? What was it? Maybe that wasn't yesterday. Maybe it was. So, was that said? Was that no? It wasn't setting goals that was in. Um, huh. Was that the word objective? Yeah. Yeah. So, objective. Man. Sorry, guys. But put that back away. All right. Oh yeah. So it was to determine if our thoughts were rational or not. If our thoughts were rational or not. And it was it is based on objective reality, concrete fact. So that was in the definition of objective. In fact, a fact was a thing that has actually happened or is really true. And then it's stated down here in objective that this word means to describe a situation without using excuses, without assigning blame, without argument, without storytelling, without editorializing, which is also about opinions. All these skew the description of the situation away from fact and towards a story that may be full of inaccuracies. So, opinion is a belief not based on an absolute certainty or positive knowledge, but on what seems true, valid, or probable to one's own mind. Now, why I was getting to that was because opinion wow. Anyway. On the back of this risk reduction worksheet, I've got 5 things here. I believe this is just a cycle. If we have a problem we're trying to work through, um, or yeah, situation that keeps having a negative outcome for us. Okay, obviously, if it keeps having a negative outcome, then something's not right. So these 5 steps right here, it's a circular steps. So basically, you identify the problem. Okay, what's the problem? Um, Identify your objective. So you know what the problem is. Now you identify the objective, which is what you actually want to accomplish or how you want to be. So now that you know what the problem is, you know what your objective is, your goal, what you're striving for. Now you can identify different options. And then you choose an option and you act on it. Okay, now you reevaluate the problem again. Problem still there? Identify identify the problem. Then identify what you actually want, and then identify your different options. Then choose a plan and act, and then reevaluate the problem. If the problem's gone, cool. You don't have to keep going through the steps. But if you keep having the same problem, you can go through those steps. You can identify the problem, identify your objective, your goal, the outcome that you would like to achieve, and then identify different options that you can um, how you can approach the problem, and then choose a plan or choose an option out of those different options. Again, act, reevaluate the problem. So that's some paperwork that was on top of here. That was the gratitude, the attitude, just a risk reduction. I just wanted to bring that up because it had actually what I was trying to do about quitting smoking, spending more time with family and friends. So I've been chewing on all this stuff for quite some time. Now I can put those in the other folder. And what we will probably get more into depth on again is thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Basically, that's something we will get into a little deeper. I just want to brush up on it. Basically, there's REBT, rational emotive behavior, and then there's CBT, which is cognitive behavior therapy. You can check those out, Google them, search them up. There's plenty of information on it. REBT was developed by Robert Ellis. I believe he died in 2007. But yeah, we can put these. Well, I'm not going to put these up yet. So we were talking about rational thinking in the last video. And I said that people react differently to situations because of their thoughts or perceptions about the situation. An event causes us to think. Our thoughts determine how we feel about the event or situation, and our feelings will influence how we act. Here's 4 kinds of irrational thinking. Because remember, I gave those 1, 2, 3, 4, those 5 questions that we can ask ourselves to determine whether our thought was rational or not. Is it based on objective reality, on fact? If it is, cool. Is it helping me to get or achieve what I want? If it is, cool. If not, it's probably a problem. Does it help me feel the way I want to? Again, if it does, cool. If not, it's something we should look into. It's all about paying attention to our emotions and our thoughts. Anyway, those five that gave in the video about I believe it was it vision and goal setting? No, it wasn't. It might have been. But anyway, four kinds of irrational thinking, just so we're aware of it. If you know what's irrational thinking, it might poke out to you. So labeling is an irrational, um, is not irrational. It's irrational thinking. So labeling focuses on the negative aspects of a person. We should not focus on negative aspects of people. What we focus on becomes reality. So we need to focus on the positive aspects of people. Once we notice something we do not like about a person, we may focus on that without looking at the good traits. To make labeling thoughts more rational, you need to tell yourself these things. It isn't always true. This isn't the whole person. I'm only seeing one characteristic. Look at the big picture. See all the different characteristics. The second kind of irrational thinking, mind reading. This is when we tell ourselves what other people are thinking or feeling without their saying so. This is a big one. This is something, you mess up or I mess up. Like because I'm always trying to be perfect. If I make a mistake or I mess up, then I used to think that they think that I'm nothing, and just, reading their mind and stressing myself completely out about something that's not even an issue. But this is when we tell ourselves that other people are thinking or feeling what other people are thinking or feeling without their saying so. We may make up motives for why people act the way they do or assume they feel and think the same way we do. To make mind reading thoughts more rational, you can ask yourself, how do I know this is how the person thinks or feels? I actually kind of boxed this one in. It was obviously important for me. How do I know this is how the person thinks or feels? I have to check it out by asking. Okay, so communication skills, you know, instead of mind reading and automatically going into negative thoughts and negative feelings because of something, we should clarify and we should ask the person questions. Okay. The third one, shoulds. Imperative is what it is called, but shoulds. These are inflexible rules or expectations we have about ourselves or others. These rules are often rigid and extreme and just are not practical when applied to everyday life. They often contain words like should or must. An example would be I should never get angry. To counteract imperative irrational beliefs, remember people are different. I can allow for differences of opinion. We don't need to agree on everything. I can be flexible. All right, the fourth and final example there's many irrational thinkings, patterns or thinking errors, but this is just four of them. They're on this paper. But this is awfulizing. That's in my handwriting. I think that must have been what they had us rename it to, because magnification is what it's really called. This is when we exaggerate the significance of a negative event by making everything seem worse than it really is. Using words like horrendous, terrible, awful, and the phrase I can't stand it are examples of the magnification thinking error. Thinking errors. Okay. To counteract magnification errors, we must tell ourselves, I can cope. I'm exaggerating. There is no need to make things worse than they are. Yeah. Right. Now I can definitely pass that one on. Just want to expose. You can only grow to what you're exposed to. So I'm just trying to expose you guys to the same information that I was exposed to. Obviously, I was exposed to it more in depth and had a counselor or a caseworker or whatnot sitting there. What do they call it? What was that? I don't know. Caseworker, I think it was for each counselor, instructor, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so there was somebody actually that knows how to deliver this information and was delivering it to me. But just want to expose you to the information. Like I said, if I talk too fast or I've skipped something or I've repeated something or something caught your attention, please rewind and watch it again. And I encourage you, ask me questions. Family, ask me questions. If you got a question, put it in the comments. And if I don't know the answer, I'll try to research it. If I know it, I'll get back. I'll do a video on it or something. We put those up, and we'll put that up, and then we'll put that up. All right. Now I said that the last thing, if you guys don't remember in which video was it? Oh, come on, Jason. But anyway, I said that this notebook here had about 6 months worth of content in it. It's my journal. I had to put every single evening. So when you read the inside the front cover, this was in the Challenge Incarceration Boot Camp that I attended, that I went to. It was basically just like being in the military boot camp. Okay. Alarm clock, big ass bell going off at 5 o'clock in the morning. Sergeants coming in, kicking gas, your garbage cans over, yelling. You know, and you got to get up out of that, shoot up out of your bunk, and be in the hallway, standing at attention with your arms at your sides, sounding off. We had to have until they or whatever. And then they would say, uppers head call, lowers make your bunks. And then the people in the lower bunk would make their bunks, and if we were going straight to PT, they would put their PT clothes on, and upper bunks would go do their head call, which is brush your teeth, shave every single morning, use the bathroom. You got about 5 minutes in there, man. And then they'll come and say, switch it up, and then boom, you run out of the head and go in there and make your bunk and get into the clothes that you're supposed to get into, and they do their head call, and you stand on line at a position of attention. I mean, shoulders back, chest out, eyes straight forward, your thumbs on the side of your legs, right in line with that seam on the side of your pants. If you're in your uniform, you better have your gig line straight, which is your belt buckle is lined completely up with that button up, that line right up your chest. Your shoelaces better be tied all the way up. But yeah, that was the boot camp then, and this is what every single night I had to do an entry. But so there was four phases of that. Actually, so 10/4 of 2011, October of 2011. That's my first entry day. Let me see what the last one was in here. That way I know exactly if it was 6 months or if it was 4 months, because there's 4 phases here. The last entry was April of 2012, and that is when I graduated. So April's 4, plus going back to October, it is a 6-month program. It was a 6-month program, guys. Yeah, so when I got my, wasn't my 6th, it was my 5th drunk driving. They gave me 6 years in the joint, and they had this thing going on where you could reduce your sentence by applying to the challenge incarceration program, which is a boot camp, and people have died in boot camp. Inmates have died in boot camp. Um, there's 3 different locations, I believe. But anyway, so phase 1, which is these are the 4 questions because there are 4 questions in phase 1, three in phase 2, 3 in phase 3, and 3 in phase 4. And then it says each phase must respond to a different series of questions as indicated below. So in phase 1, the questions were, what was positive and what was negative about today? These are good things. I don't know, maybe I should do this again. But and what were the main feelings I experienced today? So looking at the day, what was positive and negative, just reflecting on your day. This was healthy. What were the main feelings that I experienced today? Getting us aware of our feelings. What helped me make it through the day? What did I learn today? Those are the 4 questions. Okay, so I'm gonna read off what I have. Question 1, what was positive? And we had to write the question out, had to hand these in, and then when we got it back, we had to look in there, and there was an initial next to, they would put initial next to something, and basically to bring your attention to that, and then you reread that, but you had to write yes sir next to it, so when they got it back the next day, they seen that you acknowledged them. But what was positive and what was negative about today? The positive for me today was being able to go through an entire physical training session and learn from my mistakes. The negative was that when I addressed the squad about talking and breaking code, I didn't say what I really wanted. I was a little irritated that I had to do a cycle of physical training. Not really sure what, I guess maybe at first we were just trying to come up with answers, but what were the main feelings I experienced today? I wrote excitement, enthusiasm, and hopeful. And that's what the sergeant initialed that, and I had to say yes sir. So that one there, he initialed about my feelings that day. What helped me make it through the day? Meditation on the Word of God helps me through every day. Also, light at the end of the tunnel. Number 4, what did I learn today? I learned that I want to think all the way to the result I want to accomplish before I speak or act. This is like the first freaking day of boot camp, you know. And I've been in the Bible, and I've been through the cycles before, and I was really trying to change. So this was it's 2011. So that 5th drunk driving is after my dad passed away, and I went into that 2-month drunk. Yeah, ended up getting that 5th drunk driving and got sentenced to prison, and so yeah, I'd already been through a transformation. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So those were the 4 questions, and that's what I'm going to do at the end of every video that is material content. If it's just something else, probably might not, but I might just end every video with what's in this journal. So that was October 4th of 2011, and I'm not even that far in my family story, in my family history story that I've been, still got to get to the point, get to the bartender lady that I met, that I had an 8-year relationship with, that was from Switzerland and went back to Switzerland, and that's when I met the woman that I was in a relationship with for 20 years. But appreciate you guys watching. Keep going, family. Don't give up. It gets better if you how do they say? It works if you work it. I'm sure you've heard that before. So just gotta want to get better. You guys, Thanks for watching, and I'll be back at you with another video soon. Thanks.